Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. Today we managed to get one of the biggest legends of South African cricket in a channel, an inspiration to many, even the likes of Virat Kohli. Very pleased to have you in a show, sir. How are you feeling? How
Yeah,
are you
lovely to
doing?
be here. Lovely to join you on your show. Very happy to be back in India. I love the new concept of the big cricket league. I think it's a wonderful
Yeah,
platform for youngsters, also to play alongside us, and for everybody to get along. And I think the tournament so far has gone really nicely, and it's been well put together. And I think obviously the games have proven that. So the conditions have been really good
yeah.
as well, and the cricket, the standard of cricket, has been really good. So it's been a big plus in the first season.
Are you excited for the semi-finals and the finals? Do you think your team can go and win all
Well,
of it?
well, I think the all the four teams that are playing in the semifinals are so evenly matched. They all come in. They're going into the semifinals with lots of good form, with bat and ball.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a tightly fought contest. And yeah, I think everybody's excited to make the final. But yeah, very much so. I think everybody's very excited.
Yeah. Now coming to some South African cricket, like we saw South Africa lost an ODI series against Pakistan. And like we know you, you have your opinions. We have seen you on Twitter. You're never shy of giving opinions. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts about it? What do you think about South African cricket now that Champions Trophy is also coming in?
Yeah, look, I think I didn't actually watch the game completely, but judging from what some of the comments that I read, I think the commentators from like Pollock and Philander and some of the others, like Michael Hazeman, I think they were just commenting. They were commenting on the rotation policy. I think
Right.
obviously with a big game like that, where you need to play your best team in order to stay in the series. If they
Right.
obviously if they lost last night, then they were obviously going to lose the series. So it was a little bit perplexing and confusing as to why they didn't put a stronger team in and try and save the series because they lose obviously like they did last night. They lost this, lost the game and they lost the series. So um, yeah, I think there's sort of obviously got to be big questions asked with regards to the selection of the team. Why didn't they put on a stronger team and resting too many players? I think you've got to have some sort of pride. You can't just think that a second string team against a full strength Pakistan is going to able to beat them. So
Yeah, absolutely.
uh, I think they were a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's a bit confusing as to why they didn't put in a stronger team against Pakistan.
Right. And also, you recently made a comment about players putting on a little weight. Do you think that's a real concern for South African players? Do you think that they are not on top of their fitness or something like that in comparison for a longer format cricket, like a 50-over format or a test format? But they recently did good against Sri Lanka, but still. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think at one stage, when I was still playing, and early when we started in late like middle '90s to late '90s, we were by far the best fielding team in the world and the fittest team. And it's just
Right.
sad to see, a lot of, quite a few of the players let themselves go and not really concern themselves with fitness, and it shows in the standard of our fielding. I mean, last night, how many catches were dropped? There's catches that are getting dropped every game almost, which wasn't the case years ago. We
Yeah.
take pride in our fitness. And it is a little bit sad because the coach of the white ball cricket, Rob Walters, he was our strength and conditioning coach in my last 2 years when I still played for the Proteas. Now that he's coach, he's just allowed the fitness standards to drop quite considerably. And it's quite evident to see, who is actually unfit.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just sad to see, you look at the teams that win these World Cups and etc., the T20 World Cups and 50 over World Cups. There's no one there that's unfit. I mean, you look at Australia; they're all very fit. They pride
Yeah.
themselves in their fitness. Their fielding is really good. And like I always said, with regards to Virat Kohli and the mindset of being fit and with regards to the standard of fielding, what he's done for Indian cricket over the years, he deserves a lot of praise for that. I think all the
Yeah.
youngsters with regards to Indian cricket now, and you see it also in the leagues, that the guys that want to work on their fitness, um, and really made a big statement with regards to how they think about fitness, their diet, and that's all got to do with Virat Kohli. So he's got a lot of praise for him, and it's just
Yeah.
sad to see some of the South African players
Do
not
you have
really bothered.
anyone in particular? Do you think that they need to work more on their fitness, like from
Well,
the images?
I don't really need to mention any
Yeah.
names. It's quite
Right.
obvious. And some of them have been playing for a good couple of years. And even I look at some of the domestic cricket before the season started. The guys started they started overweight and unfit.
No, right.
And you watch some of the domestic cricket, and they're still exactly the same.
Yeah.
Which is sad to see. The pride in of performance and your fitness levels should be something that you is high on your priority. As a professional cricketer, and it's just
And
sad to see that those standards have dropped quite considerably. And it's quite evident. I don't need to mention any names because a lot of people can see who
yeah.
they are.
But your former teammate Daryl Cullinan, we took his interview a few days back, and he did mention an Indian's name. He said that Rohit Sharma is clearly overweight, and he should work on his fitness, and he's not 5 Test series match fit.
Yeah,
What do you think about that? Like Rohit Sharma is a legend of the game. When we see him play, we don't see his fitness being an issue. But do you also think, because I think the South African batch of 90s, early 2000 are very hard on fitness, like even you, even Cullinan, like very strict
yeah.
on the policy of being fit. Do you also think that Rohit Sharma lacks match fitness for a 5 match Test series, or do you think that its body type is all right?
No, look, I think it's up to the individual. I was only a batter. I mean, Robert doesn't bowl.
Yeah,
Um, and it's up to the individual for me with regards to how much they want to contribute, not only in their own specific skill. If you're a bowler or a batter, your duty is still to be fit and to try and make a contribution in the field. It's
right.
I don't need to mention any names. It's you can see
Absolutely.
you can see everything on TV. Those are guys that are unfit and carrying a little bit extra. I mean, the whole world is there to see. I don't need to mention any names,
Yeah.
but the mindset should be, especially with a lot of T20 cricket and obviously with the Champions Trophy coming up, how much you want to contribute and make a difference for your team. And that is just
And
the
it's
skill
very
set.
visible. Like you said, it's very visible, and we don't
Yeah,
need to take names, but the fitness it has a very big impact on cricket. Like Virat Kohli, you mentioned Virat Kohli, and I think, one of the fittest cricketer. And we all know that he has been your fan, and he has mentioned you a lot of times, etc.
yeah.
But now he's going through a rough patch. Like we can say that, like his form has dipped a little bit. So, what do you think about it? Do you think that he will prolong his career? Do you think there's one more peak left in him, or do you think that this is it? This is the end. Like when you see a cricketer,
Look, I mean, his standards are so high. How he laps up pressure with regards to, when it comes to chasing in T20 and ODI crickets. I mean, he got a test 100 a couple of weeks ago. You don't just suddenly become a bad player, within 2 weeks. It was just 3 weeks ago where he got 100. And look, I think he's a very proud of his stats. He's a very proud cricketer. He
yeah,
demands very high standards of himself. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be wrong to write him off. He's too good a player, and he will probably will have sat down with the batting coach of India, and he will know what he's doing wrong. You don't play
yeah,
for years and years and score 9,000 test runs without knowing what you're doing wrong. Confidence thing. It can be a technical thing too, but I think he himself will know exactly what he needs to in order to make runs, especially in the Boxing Day Test. I think it's going to be a huge occasion, and he loves a big occasion. And I
yeah.
back him. I back him to make runs definitely.
Absolutely, and we all are, and we all know how much he loves a challenge and how he can come back after all the challenges he has faced. Now, talking
Yeah.
about one more cricketer, Indian cricketer, and it's a little tricky one, but do you think that Bumrah is a better all format bowler than Dale Steyn was? Like, do you what are your opinions about Bumrah
It's
reaching this
that's
heights?
a yeah, that's an unbelievable question. I think you're talking of two of the unbelievable best bowlers that are that ever played the game. I think yeah, it's such a difficult one. I mean, obviously Dale played a lot longer. He
Yeah,
didn't pick up as many injuries, I think, as obviously Bumrah was has. I think Bumrah has been a little bit unlucky with regards to these injuries, but he's just an unbelievable bowler. I think
you're right.
it's a
Very
difficult one
difficult
to
to pick.
say. I think they will both go down as all time greats.
Yeah,
Definitely, but it's they're two very very different types of bowlers. Um,
right. It will be
you
difficult
know,
to pick a favorite.
it is very difficult to. Like I said, they're both exquisite, unbelievably skillful.
Right.
Um, yeah, and I just think they both made an impact every time they get the ball, whether it's a new ball or an older ball, they can come on and make an impact and get wickets. So it's difficult to say who's the better of the two, but yeah, I mean they both pride bowlers. Very difficult to pick one and say who's better than the other. But
Yeah.
look, I mean
But
Dale, yeah.
a competition, a face-off between Prime Gibbs and Prime Bumrah. Who do you think would have won? Who do you
No,
think would
no,
have
no.
won?
There wouldn't be a contest. He would have my number any day. He would have my number any day. So yeah, definitely.
I think you're being
Definitely.
modest,
Yeah.
but okay.
So
we'll,
yeah. It's a
okay.
pity I
We,
never played against him. It always would have been nice to play against some of these bowlers. But yeah, unfortunately I was finished by
yeah.
then.
I think Shine from Pakistan, Bumrah from India, this current lot of Mahesh Patirana from Sri Lanka, different kind of bowlers we are getting from Asia as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think you would have enjoyed facing these guys. But okay,
Yeah,
you have faced lot better bowlers in their prime, so we all know your caliber from where you're
yeah.
coming from. So coming back to the question about Twitter, recently we saw a funny banter between a fan and you, in which he was mentioning that Champions Trophy is not a serious tournament because maybe ABD didn't have that many runs in that tournament. And you said, but I have won an IPL as well. So what was all that about? It was a fun comment. It was a fun banter with ABD. And I think you guys share those relationships where you can say these things, but want to know your point of view as well.
Oh no, it's like I said, it was just a little bit of banter. I think and our AB he's got millions of fans in India, and they
Yeah.
all love him to pieces. But it's nice just to be able to share thoughts, and he's a great player, and I think sometimes when you mention something, obviously because of the barrier language, sometimes the Indian fans, they underestimate, not they underestimate it, they misinterpret what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
sometimes. So the language can be a bit of an issue into how they actually interpret what I'm saying. But it's all just it's all done tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
Nothing is
absolutely.
ever, there's nothing ever that's said in jest, or having a go at anybody. But yeah, it's just nice that I always say that at least I won one IPL, which is quite nice. And
Yeah.
with the Deccan Chargers, which I think they were very fond of. They had a lot of fans as well, I think, in the IPL.
One
And
of the
and it
best
was
teams, I think. So assembled in the IPL with young Rohit, Gilchrist,
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Do you have any memories
Diamonds.
of that Rohit Sharma when he was playing with you guys in Deccan?
Yeah, look, you could see already, all the potential that he had then. You know, and he won us one or two games, especially the one that we won in 2009 in South Africa. He played some really match-winning knocks. You could see already that he was destined for greatness. Especially with the white ball cricket. But yeah, I mean, he's been phenomenal. Obviously, with the white ball, he's got a couple of double
Yeah.
centuries. It's just been unbelievable going. And I think now at the moment, you've obviously got a couple of new youngsters up at the order there, in the Test cricket. And maybe, Rohit, it was just like me when I was asked to bat in the middle order. I didn't
Yeah,
find it, I didn't make the adjustment really well. For the large part of my career, I opened the batting and I was very comfortable opening the batting. And I couldn't quite make the adjustment in the middle order. They've obviously tried to do that with Rohit. So he might be in a little bit as two minds as to
yeah.
where he
So
is
do
with
you,
regards to his
are
Test
you
cricket.
are you suggesting that Rohit should open in the fourth test in the Boxing Day where he'll be more comfortable? Because we have been reading news that they are planning to switch back to Rohit might open because he's an opener. He has always been an opener for the longest of time, and now that he has shifted his position, which is for the team, but
Yeah.
the other two openers like Rahul has been in a good form, but Yashasvi might have not proved his mettle till now in this series so far. So do you think that he should get back to that opening position?
Well, look, I think he's more comfortable opening the batting, and I think if you had to ask him that question, to be honest, I think he would say yes, he would like to open. And opening is such an important part, especially in must-win games and in series, as big as this. So, he's made his runs as an opener. I would maybe would think of maybe switching him and asking him back to open. I think
Yeah,
KRL is, he's a really great. He's been really good. Looked a lot comfortable than any of the other batters.
absolutely.
Yeah, So I think if you had to ask him where he would like to bat, and make a swap, I think for such an important test, I think you open with Jaiswal and with Rohit.
Yes, that makes sense actually. And that will be all from our side. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your precious time to Inside Sports. And we are hoping that we'll get you back in a channel. Thank you.